Goldman Sachs is known for having a grueling interview process. They have quite intense, long interviews, many interview stages, and I managed to successfully get a job offer after 9 Goldman Sachs interviews. And in this video, I'll explain to you how I did this and how you can do the same. Point of advice number 1, you need to make sure you do your interview research and understand the process. I had 9 interviews. This was over 5 hours in total, about half an hour each for each interview. And they were done in 3 stages. I had 3 interviews, hour and a half in one go with 3 different contacts within the team, within the broader team, and within some senior contacts. That was the first round. The second round was dealing with middle management, 3 different contacts in middle management, half an hour each for an hour and a half. And then the third stage was dealing with very senior managing directors, different business contacts, and some discussions with HR in that third and final stage. Now that's what I dealt with. You might have a slightly different process if you are looking to work for Goldman Sachs. Sometimes they have like a super interview day where you spend an entire day back to back doing interview after interview, doing case studies, doing things like that. It can vary depending on the manager, the hiring manager, how they want to test you. So it's good you understand the process and you do a bit of research before. Now, what type of research should you do for the company before you are applying for Goldman Sachs? Understand where the business is currently by doing some research of their annual reports, looking at the investor relations website, where they will list for their own investors and for your research what's going on in their company right now, what are they investing in, what business areas are growing, what business areas are closing, are they moving away from a particular jurisdiction, are they closing offices in their emerging markets in Latin America and opening up new offices in Eastern Europe and Poland and things like that. What's going on globally? Are they moving from bond trading to focus more on equities trading? What's going on? What's the main profit drivers in their business right now? Things like that are very important considerations before you attend an interview to demonstrate you've read the annual report. You can see where their profit drivers are and you can contribute to that by hopefully helping that team boost their profit. Now, point number 2 is you need to be able to prepare for each type of personality through that interview process and each level of seniority. So, for example, before I had my first round interview, I knew I'd had 3 different interviews, half an hour each, with different personalities. Now, I can check those particular contacts on LinkedIn, and I can see a bit of description. Where did they work previously? Maybe they list their hobbies, their interests, their skills. Maybe they've done certain qualifications. So I can learn a bit more about that person. So I'm fully prepared when I go in for the interview. So it's not like they just know everything about you through your CV and you don't know nothing about them. It's good to know a bit about the person interviewing you. So you might be able to ask some relevant questions that they might be interested in. Maybe they've done a qualification in crypto trading and you ask them some questions about algorithmic trading, crypto trading, and it shows you have interest in something they have interest in and you're enthusiastic about similar topics they're interested in, relevant to the industry. So that's the type of research you can do. Check on LinkedIn who is going to be interviewing you, a bit about their level of seniority and interests. And you can do that at each stage of the interview, not just the first stage, of course. So if you're dealing with someone particularly senior at the later stages of the interview, as I did, like interviewing with managing directors, I've seen, for example, their LinkedIn profile. They worked for Goldman Sachs for 15 years. They've done these slightly different roles. They might know a bit more about where I'm going to be placed within the company, within the broader team. So they might have some advice. They might ask me to consider how I'd fit in with trading certain products. So there's quite a lot of different nuance you can gauge from reviewing someone's LinkedIn profile about what type of questions they might ask. So it's definitely something worthwhile thinking of. Now, the third point I want to mention to you here, a third piece of advice, is around understanding a lot of the questions will come down to technical skills or soft skills. It'll be one or the other. So they'll ask you technical skills. What is delta or beta or alpha in the contents of trading, and different Greeks, theta. I'm sure if you know a bit about trading, you know about a bit of some of the technical terminology. Do you know what it means when it comes to stop loss orders, market orders, limit orders? Some of the general, more basic technical questions. Are you aware of marketing material restrictions? These are some of the general questions you'll get in terms of technical skills. Now, in terms of soft skills, they will test that in general ways. Oh, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do in your free time? It could be, oh, can you give me an example of when you've presented in front of a large group? Are you familiar with client relationship management? Give me an example of when you've dealt with a difficult scenario with a client, a difficult scenario with senior management, an issue around teamwork or a deadline, things like that. So just to finish up here, we have 3 key points of advice that helped me get a job at Goldman Sachs and that will help you get a job at Goldman Sachs. Point number 1 is doing your interview research and understanding the interview process. Step number 2 is preparing for each type of personality you'll be interviewing with and different levels of seniority. And point number 3 is developing your technical skills and your soft skills and being prepared for those type of questions. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next video. On your screen right now, you have 2 relevant videos that will help you in your career. And there is a free ebook in the description. Feel free to check that out. See you next time.